Hey everybody, and welcome along to the Irish Golfer Podcast. Day 3 here at Royal Portrush in the Irish Golfer House. The chipper's on the table, the cans of Carlsberg are flowing, the lads are in good form, and we're back here after Wednesday at the Open Championship. A pretty good Wednesday as well. Here I'm joined by Mark McGowan and Rode McNamara.
Yeah, that's the new name now, unfortunately. Christened.
He's been christened Rode today.
New best mate.
Yeah, my new best mate, Dan Rappaport.
So he meets Dan Rappaport today. We were at just to set the scene here. We went to a Callaway function first thing this morning, like a breakfast at their house, and they were doing a podcast, like a business and golf podcast with Dan Rapp, Incy Mehmet, Ben Sharp, who's the CEO of Callaway, and Niall Horan, and they were going through all different aspects of stuff. And Ronan took a shine to Dan Rapp. We've been abusing him for years. Not took a shine. No, you said that.
You took a shine. You said, "Oh, Dan, get a picture of Ronan."
No, you said he's actually gone up on my estimations. You said he's gone up after he spoke well. I think he was good. And I said, right, you might as well get a photograph. And he says to you, "What's your name?" Ronan, and he goes, "Rode. Is Rode your name?" And we're like, yeah, Rode's his name. Yeah, that's a cool name, man.
Well, to be fair, it beats Rowan or Rory, so I'm happy enough.
Rode.
Well, the picture leads us to believe you're best mates anyway.
Besties.
He's my best mate.
Besties. Yeah, there's lots going on today. The weather was much nicer up here today than yesterday.
It was a beautiful day out there today.
Savage shorts day.
Cracking. Sun was shining. Minimal. I mean, there was enough wind that it was a minor factor, but it was perfect out there on links today. It's the kind of round that players probably don't want to get on the Wednesday.
100%. I was going to say that. I was going to say like a nice little breeze just to get you. Isn't she lovely looking at the golf course?
It actually reminded me of the practice day at the west of Ireland this year, where it was beautiful weather. Sun shining, less wind than that there today, and then the lads went out the next day and you had like the likes of Eddie McCormick saying it was in 27 years coming to the west of Ireland, it was the hardest day he'd ever played in, like so. And
that's the beauty of this golf course about where we are, and like we spoke the last couple of days about the winds that are going to get the different directions. We were looking at it coming out like total different when we went in this morning than we were coming out, and the next 3 days, 3 different winds. It's going to be really good. Even tomorrow, the guys teeing off first, gentle breeze gets up to like 25 mile an hour gusts in the afternoon. It's going to be very, very different from starting than it is finishing this golf course. Be totally different. But I suppose before we get stuck in, quick shout out to Cleveland Tricks and Golf sponsoring this pod. You can visit eu.dunlopsports.com to check out everything they have, from balls we went through yesterday, the new ZXI line of iron ZXI 5, 7, 4s, really good. A lot of their utility irons in bags this week, including Scotty Scheffler, world number 1, who uses a Srixon utility iron, and there's some good. So JJ Spawn was actually in a Cleveland Srixon staffer today. He was actually very good in his presser. I know both of you went into it. So Mark, what do you think?
He was. I mean, I went in not knowing what to expect really, and I really enjoyed it. He came across as a really likable fella. I mean, he's so. I mean, he was at one stage. He was asked, "What adjective would you use to describe yourself?" And like after thinking for ages, he was like humble. Humble is the only one. But in a way, it was actually like literally the perfect word to describe him, because he is so unself-assuming. Like, he talked about like having to. He's worried or kind of like had doubts his whole life whether he's good enough to play on the Corn Ferry Tour, then whether he's good enough to play on the PGA Tour, and even after he won on the PGA Tour, he still wasn't convinced that he was good enough to hang with them. But he ironically said his caddy and his coach are like extremely positive, extremely bullish about him. Like he says, when he was outside the top 100 in the world, his caddy was telling him, like, you are genuinely the best player in the world. And he was like,
the best caddy I've ever played for, I've ever worked for.
So he's like, shut the fuck up. Like,
yeah.
And he says, okay, well, top 10. And he's like, well, all right, I can listen to that bullshit. But
I thought it was funny when he said that with his coach the week before the US Open or 2 weeks before, sent him a video saying, what do you think? What do you see here? Oh, I see a US Open champion. All right, cop the fuck on. Tell me what you see. Give me something technical here. I don't want smoke blown up my arse. Let me know what the story is. It was just very honest the way you went into stuff like that.
Yeah,
but no,
and again, he said the Ryder Cup was something that he never. I mean, he says, of course, I would have loved to play in a Ryder Cup. But he's like, I never once considered that it was remotely possible that I'd play in a Ryder Cup. And yeah, here we are. He's probably about 4 or 5 weeks away from being announced as a Ryder Cup player.
Yeah. The one thing that let that whole press conference down is when he was asked, have you played links golf before?
He did. Well, in fairness, this is his first ever Open Championship. I would say it's a good chance that it's the first time he's ever crossed the Atlantic. But he said the only links golf he'd ever played before was at Badminton's. At which point, like, there was a sizable amount of the press corps there that just sort of groaned and started shaking their heads. But he redeemed himself and said, he's like, I know that's not real links golf.
He might as well have said Carton House Monty.
But he said that's the closest I've played. Yeah. No, he did play at the Renaissance last week. He did
again. That's not links. That's not links.
That's Badminton's adjacent.
Yeah, no, but it was a good presser. It was good. Justin Rose was in as well. You enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I feel like I got the whole place going, to be honest with you. I asked about what it was like to, watch Rory win the Masters. Just be there on the 18th green, getting the front row seat that everybody would have wanted except for him, probably.
You nearly made the man cry. He started talking about Sergio.
Yeah, he started talking about Sergio and right back to 2017, and it was funny.
Steam came out of his
Sergio
ears
had
like
Sergio had a similar length putt to Rory in 2017. That like little slippery 3-footer, and he got it as well. And it was a similar sort of emotion that broke out of Sergio, so I could see where he was coming from. But he spoke really well. Like, and then everybody started tagging on about Rory questions, and he was saying, "Yeah, look, Rory won the Masters, but I wasn't as devastated as I might have seemed. He was happy enough that he played really good golf on the day." Played well in the playoff, hit 2 good shots into 18. That's all you want. Like, it's not his fault that Rory stitched his 3 feet afterwards. But no, really positive, really strange. He basically admitted he didn't play well in any of the practice days this week. And he said, on the practice day, there's a lot going on. It's very difficult to actually focus. Whereas when you're actually on the tournament day, you can channel into what you're doing and nearly have this tunnel vision kind of a thing. So he was saying he's not too concerned with
that's nearly a good thing.
Practice. Yeah, like Lowry said himself, like he needs to play shit if he wants to play well. And maybe Rose is one of those kind of guys, but I think Rose has a great chance. I think the Masters and the Open are the two where the veteran can always spring a surprise.
Yeah. What do you think of that presser? Did you go into the Rosy one?
No, he didn't. He's on a full Justin Rose boycott.
Yeah, I was worried that he might spot me there and do like the Jim McGuinness to Declan Bogue one. I'm not starting this press conference until he gets out of here.
Get him out of here. Go full Mickey Hart with RTE. Not doing it. There was the RNA presser. This was like a Fine Gael party Ardèche.
Yeah, Mark Darvin, CEO. Now, in fairness to him, his first, general press conference, and he's growing into the role still. But my God, he's a walking cliche.
Yeah.
Not to quote someone who we know who said that about somebody else we know. But no, he really is. He has this like real trait of bringing you in. You ask a question, he will bring you in as if just before he says something interesting, it's all about logistics. We've had really positive talks. We're exploring every narrative, exploring every avenue. And then you're kind of like, well, you're not really saying anything here. Yeah. And you can tell he's from a rugby background and nice and polished, isn't he?
Yeah.
He'd go well in the D4 on tour with Leinster Rugby, I tell you that much.
Yeah.
But like the Portmarnock question was inevitably asked, and he basically just kicked the can down the road, said, look, we're exploring all the feasibilities. We're with the Irish government, with the golf club. And he said we'll have a clearer picture by the end of the year. He said in April that he was really excited about the prospect of Portmarnock, which makes me think at the end of the year, if they announce something or not, it'll just be another kick down the road. In the springtime we'll be really pushing on with the plans. So he said a lot, but said nothing at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, he kicked Portmarnock down the road. He was asked about an Open Championship Muirfield. He kicked that can down the road. He was asked about an Open
He had to
Championship
hold
at
off a
Turnberry.
Scottish Mafia.
He kicked that down the road. He was asked about Liv getting no WGR rankings. He kicked that can down the road.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an absolute political masterclass. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be surprised.
And
if his
the Kenny
next,
would be
if his- if
delighted.
His next move isn't into, well, although some people might suggest he's too smart for politics. Maybe, but
He was one question short of saying a lot done, a lot more to do.
A lot done, more to do. Yeah. No. Yeah, I don't know where to go. Like, what else? Anything else stick out from you today? We'll get stuck in. Like we did, you boys were part of the media huddle with Harrington today. We'll play that through in full. Really, really insightful, deep chat. Like 15 minutes of full Paddy H going mad. But
It really is one of golf's great joys, just when someone puts a microphone
just to listen to him.
in front of Harrington. Not in the case of when you put a microphone in front of somebody you know they're going to say something controversial. You know Harrington's just going to carry on. Like,
Yeah.
quick word at Harrington is 25 minutes.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
yeah,
He's great.
I mean, it's like, and he was asked like a couple of awkward enough questions. I mean, things like when he was, obviously he's hitting, as everybody's aware at this point, he's hitting the opening tee shot tomorrow morning, which he talked about, like the pressure of
Yeah.
it. He's going to feel severe pressure. And then at some point, I can't remember who it was, but somebody asked him about Rory hitting it out of bounds in 2019, and he just kind of laughed. He says, "Well, I've forgotten about that, but thanks for reminding
Thanks
me."
for
But
reminding
again,
me. And Darren Clark.
and then again went on to talk for another couple of minutes.
Yeah.
After that, answering the question, even though like it was, well, it probably wasn't the nicest question that was thrown at him. Like,
No, it was good. I like Greg Allen's really good at getting good questions in, and the way he put it. We'll play that through in its entirety here now. It's a good 15 minutes of pure Paddy gold of what you can expect in the morning. We're recording this on Wednesday evening, so he's out at 6:35 in the morning. So yeah, here we go. How are you, body wise, feeling wise, and all?
Yeah, all good.
Health wise.
Yeah, it seemed to be all good. Yeah, I would say right at this moment better than ever.
Really?
Yeah.
So in that case, what's in store for you this week? You've just won a US Open Seniors Championship. You're going to embark on a major which is comfortably accessible for anybody over 50, as Tom Watson showed in 2009, getting so close to winning. Are you a real contender this week?
Look, like my goal is to hit the first shot and the last shot this week. So that's in my head. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm thinking. You know, I'm sure the bookmakers will tell you that's not a reality, but you know, I have to prepare. Like, if I get there on Sunday, get myself in contention, I have to prepare to be ready for that moment, and you know, see how that goes.
You're far from a ceremonial player, as we know, because you're so competitive. So you're going to be given a huge ceremonial duty with the first shot struck off the first tee at 6:35 on Thursday morning. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, you know, obviously it is a ceremonial thing, but it is a great honour. So I decided that the honour was more important to me than necessarily thinking I'm you know, I can accept that I'm in that position, put it like that, for the honour.
Did you hesitate at all?
Oh yeah, I haven't in the past, put it like that. But this time I didn't hesitate. I decided this was a good time to do it, Royal Portrush, and it doesn't preclude me from doing it again.
Yeah. So in that case, the first tee at Royal Portrush in the Open on the island of Ireland. I know it's the second time it's been staged here in 6 years, but it's still a very big deal. Will there be nerves?
Yes, very nervous. It's not a comfortable tee shot for anybody. So yeah, there's a lot of other ones. I accepted it before I actually thought about the tee shot. Yes, yeah, no, I'd be definitely very nervous about that tomorrow, and yeah, I'll be very comfortable with anything in play will do me. I'll be doing a bit of posing after I hit. No matter how bad the shot is, I'll be holding my finish and pretending it's a good one.
Tell me, what have you been sort of feeling like with regard to your game since winning the US Seniors Open, which was a huge victory, and the way you won it?
Yeah, you know, I felt I played well at the US Open, but I really struggled on the greens. And then last week I put it really well and struggled with my game. So I kind of, yeah, I wouldn't be, yeah, I'm not as happy with my game as I was, say, at the US Open. But as I said, I did think I put it great last week, but I was still negative strokes game putting, which is interesting. But yeah, look, I'm happier with one side of my game than I was then, and maybe not as happy with how I'm hitting it. But you know, you don't really know until you play the tournament, until you tee up on a Thursday. You're never really sure how you're going to play. So I have to, as I say, prepare and hope. I'm finished for the day now, which is 1:30 on a Wednesday. I go home now and just assume that it's going to be in place, and by doing a bit of resting and that, getting a bit of physio, hopefully my head is in place tomorrow, and I make the right decisions at the right time.
You've said in the past that this is your favourite golf course. Is it still your favourite golf course?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. As I'm playing it now, it's just, I think I like risk reward, and there is an awful lot of it out there. You hit good tee shots on several holes out there, and you've got a birdie chance. You hit a bad tee shot and you're reloading. There's out of bounds on the the first 5 holes that comes into play. You could say twice in the first, so you've got 5 times you've got stakes in the first 5 holes. That do come into play, and on the second hole you can make an eagle. As I said, you can hit it in one of those bunkers, and I think that the great thing about Portrush, and maybe this is why I like it so much, because of the risk reward. If you hit good shots, you can make birdies. There's a huge mental task out there, because you could stand, say, on the likes of the second tomorrow and think, yeah, this is a good birdie opportunity, hit it in the bunker, end up making bogey. And it's the frustration that the player has to deal with. So I suppose that's probably what lends me towards this course, that I've always liked the course that are mental battles, and there's a lot of testing holes. Like, you choose your shot into 14. You hit the green on 14, you're probably going to have a short birdie putt. You miss it down the left, and I remember from days past, you miss it down the left of 14, you're over the green, you're back out, so. Yeah, there's 3-shot swings in plenty of places out there, so it's an exciting golf course, and I think that's why the players like it. I think that's why the spectators like it. There's a lot of drama on the course.
Just finally go back to my very first question, my last question.
I didn't answer, obviously.
You didn't quite answer it. Do you feel that you can win an Open Championship, and how special would that be to be feeling the heat even on Sunday, being in contention? I
definitely feel like I can win an Open Championship. Do I feel like I'm going to win this Open Championship? I would say I'm, like a lot of times going into it, I wish it was a few more weeks, but I have to play with what I've got tomorrow, and as I said, I've got to create a reality in my head that I can win, and I've got to mentally prepare that if I'm in contention on Sunday afternoon, I've got to mentally prepare for that sort of position, get my head around it, and it might be a long shot to a lot of people, but it feels pretty good to me.
Padraig, as a double Open champion and an honorary member of this golf club, what does it mean to you just to be striking the first ball on Thursday morning?
Well, as I said, it is a tremendous honour, and what it means to me is the fact I accepted it, in the sense of I don't want to be known as a ceremonial golfer. I don't feel like I am at the moment, and I'm prepared to put that aside to have that honour. I really do think it is a great honour, just here in Ireland, here in Portrush, a course I love. It's very fitting. As I said, it doesn't preclude me from maybe doing it somewhere else down the road, and I hope maybe I get another chance, but this is a huge honour for me, and certainly something, as I said, I accepted quite quickly, based on the fact that I could have looked at it other ways, but no, I thought the honour was one I couldn't turn down.
And you're playing alongside Tom McKibbin, who's the future perhaps of Irish golf. We all hope a major winner in the future. Nice for him to be playing alongside you too.
Maybe so. I think he's playing well. I think he's more focused on what he's doing, and probably doesn't need the distraction of that sort of my tee shot anyway. It's a big week for him, isn't it? It's time he, in the majors, he starts putting in some good numbers. If you're going to win majors, you've got to start getting yourself into top tens and things like that. So I assume that's where he's thinking. So it's time for him to start moving on.
What would it mean to you to win an Open on the island of Ireland?
Look, it would be an incredible achievement at my age to win an Open. To win it here back in Ireland would be incredible. On top of that, as I said, look, 2019 was a phenomenal achievement for the Open to come here. Then it was a phenomenal achievement, for Shane to win it. Was the icing on the cake. We never you can wish for it, but you can't expect something like that. For us to do it again, any of the Irish guys to come out here and win again would be astounding. Yes, I would like it to be me, but That's what I have to plan for in my head, but I'll freely admit that I'll settle for any Irish winner this week.
And finally, when you look around here, an Open in Ireland is very, very special. How hopeful are you that one can go to the Republic of Ireland as well in the future?
Well, look, the crowds that turn out here are phenomenal. They really do embrace it. People have come from all over the island to be here. Delivered the sunshine.
Today.
I will have to say, in my considered opinion, we do the best 99's here. I've tested a 99 at every Open venue, and these are the best, definitely the biggest and the nicest so far. So, we do it well. I think the players love it. I think just the community turning out and supporting it, that's huge. When everybody gets involved in it, everybody for miles around is involved in this Open. So they take ownership, and that's why it's such a good venue. That's why the players love it. And of course, it's just an exciting golf course.
And ice cream sales are now through the roof.
Well, as I said, they're the biggest at any of the Opens, as well as the nicest. So that's my professional opinion from playing the Open for what's close to 30 years. These are the best ones.
Padraig, can I just, I don't know if this question's been asked already. Scotty Scheffler's press conference yesterday. I'm sure you're aware of what he said. I just wonder what you made of it.
I did go in and listen to it. Yeah, I'm not sure what he was trying to articulate, and wouldn't be putting words in his head. But I know I'm still celebrating my US Open senior win. So, and it goes on for weeks. Every time somebody says "well done" to me, I get a little, bit of acceptance and enjoyment out of it. So, I think he was trying to articulate something. I'm not like I know. Yeah, I don't want to compare myself to him, but I genuinely still have a real love for this game. I enjoy every bit of it. It brings me tremendous satisfaction, and I don't think I have to shy away from that. I don't think I have to. Just because I love golf doesn't make me a bad father or a bad parent or anything like. I don't have to. They're separate entities. You can enjoy everything there is about golf and still be good elsewhere and do the right things. So I just love playing golf. I couldn't see myself doing anything. Actually, if I wasn't doing this, I'd be sitting in front of the shopping channel, spilling ice cream on myself, buying packages that I never opened. So maybe golf is saving my life.
But you still feel fulfilled on the golf course?
Absolutely. Even a shot fulfills me on the golf course. Going and hitting shots in the range fulfills me. And to be honest now, if you look, I grew up, I remember watching Christie Senior hit shots out in Royal Dublin. And this is past his prime of playing. He'd be 65 years of age, and he took sheer joy in hitting practice shots. And if you hear stories about the likes of Hogan, I think Hogan was his happiest when he was that age, hitting shots on the range. I'm like that. I like competing, no doubt about it. I really like competing, but sometimes it can be, hard work at times, but I love practicing. I love hitting shots and the imagination of dreaming of what can be. So, I just think I don't know what to think about. Was he articulating or trying to say something? It certainly brought up. For him, he's going to be asked about that for the minute he doesn't play well. That's why he's going to be. Oh, that was the day. So he was being honest. But yeah, those people are going to ask him about that for a long time. He obviously loves the practice. I just don't think I don't think he loves the grind of it. I don't think he needs to separate it. And maybe as I said, I've often said this later on in my life. I wish I spent more time enjoying my wins when they happened. And when I win now, I make sure to enjoy it. There is, yeah. I make sure.
There's still very much a point. He was saying, "What's the point? What's the point?" There is a point.
Oh, there's huge. For me, there's a huge point. But I think you have to mentally, for your own brain, when you win, really go out there and enjoy it. Like that was every time you win, you have to separate it and go, right, I'm going to enjoy this moment and not make it a moment. If it's a big win, I'm not averse for people taking a couple of weeks off and really enjoying it. I'm not going to say how to enjoy it, but I think you have to. That would be one thing I would have said to my younger self. Definitely as a young man, I would have thought, I've won tournaments on a Sunday night, I'd be thinking about what I'm going to do tomorrow to get better. Whereas now I'm just thinking, I'm going to enjoy this for a couple of weeks. And anybody who said, and pretty much everybody has said well done to me, I like it. I enjoy somebody saying well done. I still take the kudos for that, take satisfaction for that, and I suppose I make an effort to enjoy those wins, because actually the truth of it is they don't happen as often. I know Scotty wins a lot, but even when it comes to his end of his career, he might have thought he would have won more. It eventually stops.
Padraig, you broke the seal in 2007 in Carnoustie, and it's been extraordinary what has happened since then, and now we have a Grand Slam champion in our midst as well, so it's going to be a great celebration of all things golf in Ireland over the next few days.
Yeah, we do pretty well in Ireland, I've got to say. Golf, we've obviously excelled at the very top, but when people come in here and play golf, as tourists, they can't understand the culture. Golf is for everybody in Ireland. I grew up in a golf club full of policemen, and everybody will tell you their golf club, it's taxi drivers, it's barmen, and you only have to look at the players who have succeeded in Ireland. None of them have come from, in any shape or form, a country club. It's very, very, we've done well. It's very accessible. It really, it's hard. Obviously GAA is the biggest sport in the country. We all love our GAA, and we have to thank the GAA for being good at golf. All the GAA really takes up that physical education all the way through the country, and there won't be I played hurling growing up, and there's no doubt that hand-eye coordination starts there. So we're not saying we're that, but it is a sport that can be loved in Ireland. We do well at it, and it is one for everybody. It's very accessible, and I know when you look at the prices of other sports, and especially if you start comparing to US, it's pretty damn cheap to play golf.
But when you won the Claret Jug in 2007, Rory won the silver medal that year, and you predicted that he was going to have a big future in the game, and that's exactly what's panned out.
Yeah, I really went out on a limb, didn't I? Yeah, look, we all knew about Rory well before, for probably 5-6 years before that. We would have been on the radar. Obviously, he's delivered on that, and that's hard. There's many a star in all sorts of sports that, for whatever reason, when they get going, it just doesn't happen. Rory delivered on that, and to win a Grand Slam is incredible. Who would have thought that? And it's all happened, and it's hopefully, as I said, maybe with Tom McKibbin and others coming behind, we do need to fill that void. That's the one thing we're missing in Ireland. We don't have that next bunch of guys on the tour. When I went out on tour, I think it was 15 Irish guys on tour when I started off, and I think only Conor Purcell's on the European tour at the moment. So we do need a bunch of players, to get out there and be the next generation. But for the moment, let's hope that previous generation still has a few in them.
What's the most nervous you've ever been on a first tee?
First tee in the World Cup 91, couldn't see the ball. Everybody was joking about winding up, that obviously you got the inlet to sea on the right and the clubhouse on the left, and you're hitting off an upslope into the wind, and there's 2,000 people between the clubhouse and the tee box. That was absolute nerves, and I would have followed that up with my first shot in the Ryder Cup. But that was a 7-iron off the fairway. Where else would I? It's not when you're in a tournament. When you're actually in the tournament, you can get nervous, but it's part of the moment. It depends on the situation that you're in at that moment. So you could be coming down the 18th hole, and because you've played well for 17 holes, feel great. Like, you could be one shot behind and feel great. You could be coming down the 18th hole, one shot ahead, and played terrible all day, and you'd be really, then you'd be nervous. So it is situational. But yeah, I'll be nervous on tomorrow morning. I got up early and went and played today, and tried to go through it a bit today and hit the shot, and I still don't even know what club I'm hitting off the first tee, so that doesn't help.
Any tips from Darren?
Yeah, bloody Darren. Talk about he says, oh yeah. He says, I was going to hit the little 3-iron down there, and he says he got so nervous he took out the driver and bunted it down there because it was a bigger head. And I'm saying, Darren, this isn't helping me. Well, yeah. The one club that I hope. I don't know what the conditions are going to be, but I really don't fancy hitting a driver off the first tee. Hopefully, it will be the 3-iron.
Yeah, always interesting. Always, there's so many details that you can go into on that. Best 99's on the open rota out of nowhere was a curveball I was not expecting.
Especially after the one you got today.
It was shocking.
It was and you
I
paid a
put
fiver
you
for
off.
the privilege.
I
You
paid
did.
a fiver. I honestly, based after that chat, when I heard that audio, went down to the Tented Village, queued for 10 minutes for a 99.
Nah,
Got
you-
up to the top of the thing, and
you
it
need
was
to find
shocking.
yourself a kiosk behind a dune somewhere on like the 6th or something like that. Go
This
in there
thing
and
was
get your
outside
one.
the shop, and it was brutal.
Well, I was kind of at the back of the huddle. I wanted to jump in there with a question, but I didn't
Yeah.
want to
No,
disrupt the
this
flow.
was bad.
But I want to know how they compared to. He's got a 99 machine in his own house.
Yeah.
Like
My granddad was a 99. And he was my granddad was an ice cream man. Growing up, honestly, he had an ice cream van. So all through growing up, I'd be that's why I'm a little tubby fecker now. all through growing up, going home from school, the granddad every single day walking home, I'd call in.
terrible
Yeah.
advert for ice cream, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But the great thing about Harrington is, like, this was obviously an Irish specific, if we call it a press conference, we're just huddled outside the media centre talking to him in the sunshine. And then as you looked around as things went on, gradually some of the English media started joining, some of the Americans started huddling in.
Yeah,
at
because
the
they
end.
know they're getting gold.
Whereas, we could walk by, maybe Patrick Reed, no one would give a shite.
Yeah.
Except for those who were actually talking to him at the time. No one's going to go and join in. Like, a couple of pictures of him were taken. He was videoed talking about how he was asked to rank open courses, and he said, like, there's no such thing as a bad whiskey. There's good whiskies and whiskies that are just better.
Yeah.
That's how he described ranking his links courses. Even though I think in his heart of hearts
He loves
wanted to
Port
say
Rush.
Portrush was number one.
Yeah.
I think.
He loves Port Rush.
I'm not
He
sure. I'm
always-
not sure Harrington's ever woken up with a hangover by fucking Lidl or Aldi whiskey or something like that.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Paddy's a man of the people.
No, what I'm saying, if he's saying there's no such thing as bad whiskey,
Yeah.
it's like that's
He was taken aback by Scotty Scheffler's comments. Anyone that doesn't know the comments, we haven't touched on Scotty basically saying that he gets a bit bored with the monotony of it, the chase of it. Harrington was very confused about that and was of the opinion, as you've just heard, that could come back and bite him. Like, he might regret saying that.
I mean, he might do, but at the same time, I do understand where Scheffler is coming from. He needs to try and separate, because of the success that Scheffler's had. He can't basically come out and say now that winning is everything to him. It's all he thinks about. Because if he goes through a bit of a barren period, like, all those quotes are going to be thrown back in your face. I mean, you said that winning was the most important thing, and you haven't won in 6 months now. You haven't won in 8 months now. You haven't, like he's probably deflecting, stuff, future stuff away from him. But it didn't come off brilliantly well. Like, it just
Didn't. Not for someone of the not the day before or 2 days before a major championship,
this
the
is
last
also,
of the season.
again, with Scotty, like, we're talking about somebody that at last year's Masters said that his friends told him that morning that your victory was already secured on the cross, and that calmed him down. That was like, I mean, this is the kind of personality we're dealing with.
The
here.
narrative.
Whatever your religious persuasions, it's very important. to him.
Whatever the gospel of John Paul said the morning of the press conference, that's what he was going with. But it was interesting, like, what Harrington's reaction to it, because Harrington said himself he didn't enjoy the wins as much as he should have in his younger days, and now that he's on the senior tour and winning a lot, like won his US Senior Open a couple of weeks back, and he's saying, I make sure I take a week or two to go and enjoy it, and he thinks everyone should enjoy it. Whereas I think a lot of players of Scheffler's ilk and around his age probably don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, I think
Larry remarks on that a lot.
Larry remarks on it a lot, and I know he went on about the drinking in his press conference on Monday, but there's so many tournaments every single year, and I think McIlroy never got the chance to enjoy his Grand Slam win. He was straight into a PGA, straight into a US Open. Like Justin Rose said it today, you wait so long for the Masters, and then once the Masters comes, the next three majors are like, quick as a flash.
Yeah.
So there is no time to, take stock and practice and tailor your game for such and such a major, he was saying. And like, it kind of stems into what Scheffler was saying. There's no time to, enjoy your successes, whereas Harrington's making a conscious effort. Like, people still going around today giving him pats on the back, oh, well done. And he's making the conscious effort to savor that and take that in. Whereas it just shows like they're both in different places in their career.
Was it Bobby Mack last year that he won in Canada, and then took was it a signature event the next week, and he took it off to go back to Scotland to celebrate it. I mean, that's fabulous.
Dead right.
We have to
Dead right.
We have to all appreciate that. Like,
no, 100%. No, that's what it's all about. Like, and like the lads say it the whole time. You lose 95%. Like, you lose 99% of the time. So when you get to 1%, you got to savor it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Anything else? Any other takeaways from Paddy?
The other main thing, I loved what he was talking about, but just when he was talking about Royal Portrush, I mean, for starters, the opening tee shot, when he said about how different it is to the other major championships, the other open rota courses. I saw somebody had this up on Twitter earlier on. I can't actually remember who it was, but they compared they said that some of the old links courses, because they didn't have a great practice area, they used to have like a couple of gentle holes to ease you into the round, so you were effectively doing your practice on the course while you're playing and everything. Like, whereas they were saying that Portrush is a complete contrast to that, because it's a hole that's going to smack you in the face straight out the gate. And I mean, Harrington talked about that. It was like
5 out of bounds in the first 5 holes. You have 5 lines of stakes.
And I mean, the honor of being the starter for the tournament, but the additional pressure that's heaped on you with white stakes down both sides of the fairway is pretty brutal. But what I also said about Portrush was the risk reward element of it, which is fabulous. I mean, I walked an awful lot of the course today, and there's just so many holes where it's like you cannot afford to play this golf course conservatively. If you're going to,
we said that last night. We were talking about that.
I mean,
you need to decide: are you going to attack it from the air? Are you going to attack it down low? Is the weather allowing you to do that? There's so many ways to skin a cat, but there's so many ways to go about this. And the guys that are going to be rewarded are the guys that I think this week are super aggressive and take it to the bridge, like literally go for it off the tee. Don't try and overpower it, but don't lay back so far that you're going to affect your strokes gained approach and stuff like that. I again, it re-emphasizes to me the ball strikers off the tee. Once you get it in the wheelhouse in good area off the tee, they're all good iron players, like, for stuff like that, and then the control element of that. So I'm quite bullish on the picks that I had. McKibbin, with Rory, I'd going all in on Rory, and then Tyrrell Hatton with a little bit of Brooks, little side sprinkling of Brooks.
It was interesting. We heard it there, what Harrington said about the first tee shot, how he does consider it an honour, but he has no intention of being a ceremonial golfer, even though at the same time he acknowledges he's at the age, he's at the level where he probably is. And he actually was open about hitting the opening tee shot again in future opens. Like, he's 7 exemptions to go, but he 100% thinks he's a chance of winning this week, and he's putting himself in that mindset to hit the first tee shot and hit the last shot of on the Sunday evening. It was just interesting to see how he talked about it all. It wasn't, because when the thing came out that he was hitting the first tee shot, everyone would have had a collective, oh yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
Whereas he's not thinking, oh yeah, good for me.
No, he's not. He's thinking
I'm out first. I can post a score first here.
Exactly. Flat cam. Hopefully the course lays down a bit in the morning, because it is meant to pick up in the afternoon tomorrow. More of a chance of rain, wind threatens. So
it will rain by the time he's on the 13th or 14th, I think, and it'll be flat cam before that, and then it's supposed to rain for most of the day.
Yeah.
So McIlroy will be out in probably the worst of it.
McKibbin and McKibbin and Harrington are going to make a bit of hay in the morning.
Yeah, it's funny. Harrington kind of is, because McKibbin's 4th major, first Open in home soil, 2nd Open and all, and Harrington, for to paraphrase, everyone said, Tom's got to get his head out of his arse here and start getting top 15s and top 10s here. Making the cut's not good enough. Because the question was phrased that McKibbin, could be a major winner in waiting, and Harrington was thinking, got to start getting yourself up there first.
Yeah. No, it was good. I think it'll be good for Tom to play with someone he's kind of, it's a good draw for Harrington in the way he's laid it out, that he's accepting of it. It's not a good draw time-wise for Tom, but it could be a good time slot first thing in the morning. You don't really want to play in the first group when you're not hitting the first shot. It's just, it upsets your routine so much. Like Tom's gonna, if he's teeing off at 6:35, he's probably got a 2:30, 3 o'clock alarm to get up, get activated, do a bit of whatever stretching, loosening up stuff onto the range, go through your full routine, and then hit the first tee. Like it's a long morning.
If Tom was teeing off 45 minutes, say after Harrington, there would be, I mean, he would still have a great crowd on the tee for him, but it would probably be considerably less than, because I mean, so many people are going to show up to literally to show their appreciation for what Pádraig Harrington has done for Irish
And
golf.
Tom will get that adulation as well.
Tom will get that adulation as well, but I mean,
He's never had that.
it's going to heap the it's that I mean, Rory spoke about it, but that rapturous reception and not being prepared for it, and like, I mean, like Rory was a basket case on that first tee in 2019. He hit a different club than he'd hit every day in practice. Like that's all. I mean,
I would worry a little bit because, like, you know, Tom's a young man. He likes pressure, and he performs really well under high pressure. He kind of needs big crowds to get his ears pricked up and go at it, and he performs well under that. But I don't think Tom McKibbin has experienced anything in his career like he's going to experience in the morning, standing on that first tee, when he realises he's going to have that Rory moment. And hopefully they've processed, like, he's played with Rory now in the practice round and stuff like that as well. I'd say he has embraced it in a way, but all the thinking about it and until you're actually standing on that tee, it's packed to the rafters. People are clapping their heads off for Paddy Harrington. He hits his shot, and then the announcer, and next on the tee from Northern Ireland, Tom McKibbin, and he gets equally as loud of a roar, if not louder. And then you just shit yourself. Yeah. And that could easily happen.
That's why I'm saying 45 minutes later would be a perfect time for him.
There is a lot of distraction then as well. Harrington alluded to it with McKibbin being in that group as well. Because, you know, it's mostly going to be about Harrington. Those, you know, 5-10 minutes before he actually hits the tee shot, there's going to be a big crowd building. On the tee, it's pretty hard for you to not look at Harrington and the ceremonial side of things, because it is a ceremony, whether people want to admit it or not.
Like, and there's all sorts of mental coping techniques that players use. I'm very interested in the morning as to when Tom enters the arena. I don't know if you've been on the first tee yet, and like the walkway through, you come underneath the stand from the putting green. I would hang back on the putting green, and I'd actually let Pádraig go up there, do his thing early, because Pádraig will want to get in onto the tee quite early. I'd be very surprised if Harrington's not there 7-8 minutes before his tee time, just to soak it in, breathe that air, get the clapping and all out of the way, and until he's announced. But if I was Tom, I'd hang back. I wouldn't be up there first. I wouldn't.
It's interesting. I mean, maybe Harrington will do that, but at the same time, because
you're right beside it, you're going to feel it not being in there.
He does believe that he's going to win this tournament.
Yeah.
Not that he doesn't believe that he's going to win this tournament. He believes that he can win this tournament.
He's teeing up to win. Yeah.
But I think going there like 6 or 7 minutes earlier, it's probably gonna. It's gonna he'd expect that it's going to throw him out of kilter a little bit, because you get the reception, you got 6 or 7 minutes to try and.
Yeah, but you have to regulate.
Yeah.
You have to breathe and regulate.
I guess it's one of these things. Is like literally none of us know what.
I know. I'm just very interested. We're rambling on a bit about it, but I'm just very interested as to Tom's approach. I know Paddy will cope. He's done this to, like, you know, he once he steps across the line, gets into the ring, he's there. This is going to be outer body experience for Tom McKibbin. It'll be very interesting to see. The mark of Paddy Harrington, of who he is, what he's about, I guarantee you, we'll talk to him after the round, I guarantee you Harrington has a word with him on the putting green, and they have some sort of I'm going to go up here, and I guarantee you Harrington helps him. That's one thing I'd say. That'll be a mark of the man. Harrington will understand the dynamic of, I remember when I was 21, and the unknown, the fear of the unknown, and this is going to be alien to both of them. I guarantee you Harrington grabs the bull by the horns and actually says, I'm going to walk up here, just take a bit of the heat off this. I need to soak it in myself. You hang back here and then come on. I'd like to think that that'll happen, and it will make a massive difference.
Yeah, I know. You make a good argument for that. You make a good case there.
Yeah.
He'll be finishing times to do the same for Rory. Just tell Rory to hang back a few minutes. Like a couple of things, observations that myself and Mark made throughout the day. Like Rory's played. Excuse me. Rory's played the first hole 4 times already this week and hit out of bounds twice. Hasn't found the fairway yet. So hopefully it's one of those things where we all say before we play our monthly medal, after shanking a few in the range, I get the bad shots out of the way early. And then Mark was over there with on the Calamity Jane with John Ram as well.
Yeah, I mean, Ram was playing with McKibbin.
They were full Legion 13 out.
Full Legion 13 and Jakob.
And a potential recruit.
And Jakob Olsen. The Caleb Surratt could be on borrowed time there.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were playing extremely well. I followed them for a couple of holes. They were all absolutely striping the middle. I mean, Ram hit his second shot into 15 to about 15 feet and was from about 150, 160 yards and was fuming with it. And then dropped another one and hit it to about 4 feet. But then also said, he was like, yeah, I wouldn't take that shot on in the tournament.
Yeah.
But anyway, regardless, they went on to 16 and all 4 of them, I mean, you're talking like maybe 3 of the best iron players, 3 of the probably 20 best iron players in the game, and Ram, Hatton and McKibbin. I'm not quite sure about Jakob Olesen, but I mean, he actually found the green. He was the only one of the 4 that found the green, but they all hit it up the left side, and it was coming. The wind was blowing right to left and slightly helping. It's probably one of the easiest winds to play that hole in.
Yeah,
and none of them found the putting surface apart from Olesen. But Ram on the way up, he says, if this hole is playing into the wind, into a left to right wind, this is going to be absolute carnage. He says there'll be people hitting 3 woods and they'll be down there, and he points down to the right hand side of the hole. And for anybody that's familiar with it, it's as Paul McGinney likes to say, it's no bueno down there.
It's no bueno.
Yeah, well, he's not a fan of Calamity, I don't think. Anyway, he doesn't like the par 3s. He said in his presser his favourite par 3 in the majors recently was the 80-yarder in LA Country Club at the US Open 2 years ago. He said there was a pin where, even though it was 80 yards, you couldn't get it within 20 feet of the pin.
Yeah, the front pin.
Yeah. And that's,
that's
a great par 3.
He definitely did. But I think when you look back and you think that the shot that Shane Lowry hit into that hole on Saturday in 2019.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like, it's a long time since I was at Royal Portrush, and when I stood back in that tee box and I just looked and I was like, you think,
oh, it's dangling.
What a shot.
Darren Clark calls it. Darren Clark calls it every time. Every time you play that hole, middle left. There's a little swale there. I don't know what it's called. Colts Corner or something. They have a name on it. And you just hit it. If you short left, pull it a little intentionally, and there's a hollow there that gathers every ball, repels it down. If you're 20 yards left, it'll kick it down. If you're straight at it, and it just all goes into one little funnel area, and no matter where the pin is on the green, you have a good chip. The amount of players that are going to do that, players with knowledge in this golf course, that's the miss. You're going to see so many people on 17 just in that little hole.
And that is exactly where 3 of the 4 guys were today.
And that's intentional.
But that's with the wind is
because it's not a birdie hole. It's not a birdie hole. You just aim left.
When the wind is coming the other way, and it's extremely difficult to get the ball there. That's when that hole in particular is gonna have body bags all over it.
We're gonna wrap this up soon enough, but we'll go through a couple of other news items that came across. The Grant Horvath story with the Barracuda. I don't know, did this come across out of your desks?
Yeah, I'm familiar with this one. All right.
So he's got a sponsor's invite into the Barracuda, and he told them to stick it up their holes because they wouldn't let him bring his own film crew with him and go around and do that.
I thought he was right.
Do you really? Yeah.
He's not a pro golfer. He's a YouTuber. What's the point in him playing as a regular, PGA Tour pro when he can't film? There's no value in it for him.
Well, the value is in the start,
he doesn't care about stats. He's all about the content.
Yeah, I know, but they have licenses. They have their own. This is why they pay. This is why they can afford to pay professional. It's a grey area. Like, there's no right or wrong. I admire him for taking a stance on it.
But the PGA Tour are also right to not let him
protect.
kill him, because if
Yeah,
they
they have to
let him
protect their
kill him,
own.
like, you're thinking the whole thing about what Mickelson said a few years ago, that opens that entire can of worms again.
Well, and Mickelson commented on it
Yeah.
when they said stuff.
mean-
Like, Mickelson got involved in this
I mean,
today.
it's look. Realistically, he's probably he might make the cut. He might not make the cut. If he does make the cut, he's probably going to finish pretty low down the field. Prize money, is he a professional? Would he
Yeah.
would he qualify for prize money? Well, if he does qualify for prize money, he's probably going to make minimal. I mean, compared to the money that these guys are bringing in on YouTube, like the prize money from a PGA Tour event, if you're well down the pack, is pittance. Like,
Especially an alternate field event
But
like
the-
this. But it's the PGA Tour need this.
but the PGA Tour
Need
were gonna-
players like him to
PGA
take
Tour were
up
gonna
those.
stand to gain more off him. on the field.
100%. They need it more than he does. The juice is
yeah.
worth the squeeze for them, not him. I admire him for taking a stance, but don't put your hand out to be slapped. Like it, how he knows the commercial beast that the PGA Tour is. He knows the agreements, the licensing, all that. He knows all this. That's his background. So, yeah, he's getting a cheap little dig in by
There's a
not
little
playing
bit-
it.
I mean,
and I
look,
hope I play it again.
Grant Horvath and Phil Mickelson are very, very close.
100%. Yeah. No, there's a bit of Phil in
And
his ear as well.
It's realistically, it's a complete storm in a teacup.
Yeah.
Before we move on from this, it would be brilliant if Liv decided to invite him as one of those alternate players to compete in whenever they're in America next. Just come on over, really stick it to the PGA Tour.
Yeah, like as one of
Like an Anthony
someone
Kim.
who gets injured. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, he's already
Caleb Surratt, dump him off Legion
Dump him
13.
off, he's already gone.
But the irony is that Wesley Bryan got banned from the PGA Tour
For playing the Creator
for
Classic.
playing the Liv's version of the Creator Classic, which Grant Horvath has played in each and every time. But Grant Horvath is getting invited to play in a PGA Tour event. It's a little
mad.
bit of cutting off your nose to spite your face, and
In great
hypocrisy,
news.
all you want to say.
In great news for golf, in great news for the game, in great news for
I have no
everything
idea
that's
where you're
right
going here.
about the world.
I have no idea where you're going here. Go on.
Wyndham Clark is getting his comeuppance. Fair play
forgot
to
about this.
Oakmont. Fair play to everyone at Oakmont. Now, the only thing that annoys me about this is it's taking them 3 weeks to a month to actually issue. They're obviously waiting for the next meeting. They're like the CC meeting, going through all their stuff.
This is going to make bigger news on Open Championship week than any other week.
I cannot wait until tomorrow. So
Liberty held it back.
for anyone that doesn't remember, Wyndham Clark kicked in a couple of lockers and we had a right cut. Like, global media had a right cut at him for doing what he did. He came out and he gave the worst apology since Tiger Woods was apologising for all his wrongdoings. Sorry I was caught, basically. And it was so pathetic. But then, so Oakmont have banned him. And banned him on, you're suspended from the club, you can't come back. There's a US Open there in 6 years, I think, 7 years. So what he needs to do,
Take his anger management classes.
they've listed it all out.
Stuff the anger management classes.
I mean,
stuff Oakmont.
okay,
to be
so
honest.
Would you?
he had to pay. He had to pay for the construction of however many lockers he broke.
Two.
of them.
About €100
He
lockers,
had
they
to
will
pay-
cost
He
a few
had to
quid.
make a charitable contribution,
A sizable.
a sizable charitable contribution to a charity of Oakmont's choosing, which is all well and good, but come on, he has to undergo anger management therapy as well.
That's the best
It's
bit.
like sending
I know it's the best bit, but it's also the bit that I'm going to tell him to go shove it up your hole.
It's like sending Owen Farrell to tackle school.
No, it's
if I'm Wyndham Clark,
I love
I'm
you.
like,
I love when you getting the little digs at the egg throwers this week. It's good.
It's timely. It's
Your
timely.
hatred to
Very
rugby.
on topic.
You're gone up on my. Your
Very
hatred to
on
rugby is
topic.
really good. This is really. I'm liking this. We're moving on from the
seriously,
GA now.
you can't be critical of rugby.
Mead man with a
The best-
chip in his
the
shoulder
be- the
goes
best-
after lions.
The best players from Ireland, England, Scotland, and Wales, plus New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, are playing.
We're losing people here, lads. We're losing people. Stop.
Let's
Stop.
move on
Stop.
to the three balls.
No, but honestly, really good Wyndham Clark. Do you think he'll do the anger management thing?
Oh, I hope. I honestly, like, if I'm him, I'm telling him no, not a fucking chance in hell.
Yeah.
I'd watch that
Not
in
a
full
chance
swing
in
though.
hell.
So would I. Yeah, that's a
watch
good
that.
full swing.
It'd be
I'd
great
watch that.
content.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Watch
there's
that.
not a hope I'm going to anger management classes.
Just have him there doing lines like Bart and The Simpsons.
Because didn't he had Mystic Meg doing the stuff on the first? He got the psychologist in to do all the things before the last US Open and get him believing in himself again. And doing all that. So yeah, no,
Oh, really?
his anger management stuff. Yeah, right. We're gonna end this podcast by going through pairings for tomorrow. I've picked out 8 groups. We'll have a little bit of... Before we do that, actually, yeah, did you see my Grand Slam of photo bombs today? I've got a lot of messages about this today. It's been great. The DP World Tour sent out the photograph, obviously, this morning about Rory getting his award at the AGW last night, and I kind of may have leaned to one side to have a look down the barrel of the camera when it was being taken.
You were like Shane Ross that time that Katie Taylor came back.
Yeah. No, it was funny. And then I just dug out. I remembered when I seen that come through, and someone was saying, I think it was Doc Hughes that does the stuff, and he said to me, he sent a message on Instagram or something saying, you have done some photo bombs in the last few years that I can remember. I can't reel them out. And it made me go looking for a few, and I posted them up, and it's gas. It is very funny. I just thought it was really good. I got some really funny comments on it today, but all good. But yeah, what we're going to do is I've picked out 8 groups, 8 key groups. We'll end it on this. So I want you guys to pick a winner in each group. If you get the winner in each 3 balls, so win, same as football, wins worth 3 points. Draws 1 point, and nothing is nothing.
All ties by lowest score.
Yeah.
All right.
By low score. Right. 8 groups, right. So Road, you're up first. 6:35, Harrington, Højgaard and McKibbin.
Nikolai Højgaard.
Okay. 9:25, then we have Hideki, Foxy, Fitzy.
Foxy.
9:47, Sam Burns, Aldrich, Portuguiter or Brooksy.
Sam Burns.
Okay. In 9:58, Xander, JJ Spawn, John Ram.
Ram.
10:09, Shane, Colin Morikawa or Scotty.
Morikawa.
Scotty Scheffler now I'm talking about, yeah. Morikawa, okay, very interesting. 2:48, Bobby Mack, Bryson and Rose.
Rose.
2:59, Spieth, Ludwig, Hovland.
Spieth, Ludwig or Hovland. Aberg.
Okay. And then the last one, 3:10, Rory, JT or Tommy.
Tommy.
Whoa, wasn't expecting that. Right, same quick one for you then, Mark. Harrington, Højgaard, McKibbin.
McKibbin.
Hideki, Foxy, Fitzy.
Foxy.
Sam Burns, Aldrich or Brooks.
We saw him in the wild today. I'm going Podgator.
Yeah, Podgator, okay. Xander, JJ or Ram.
Oh, Ram.
Lowry, Morikawa, Scheffler.
Scheffler.
Bobby Mack, Bryson, Rose.
Bobby.
Spieth, Ludwig, Hovland.
Oh, my man Ludwig.
Rory, JT, Tommy.
Rory. Have to support the popular bet or the fun bet.
Okay, and then Harrington, Højgaard, McKibbin. I'm going Harrington. Hideki, Foxy, Fitzy. I'm going Foxy. Burns, Aldrich, Brooks. I'm going Brooks.
Full house for Foxy.
Xander, JJ Spawn, Ram. I'm going Xander. Shane, Morikawa, Scheffler. I'm gonna go Scheffler. Bobby Mack, Bryson, Rose, Team Rose. Spieth, Ludwig, Hovland. I'm going Ludwig as well. I think that's a full house for Ludwig as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then the last one, Rory, JT, Tommy. Rory all day. Yeah, tiebreaker, really quick if we're tied. So first round leader and score. So I'm going to go Harrington 65.
Oh, it would be so
65.
good.
Out the gap.
It would be so good.
Out the gap early. This is our Tom Watson moment.
I actually haven't a clue what time he's out at, but I'm going Sepp Straka.
What score?
66.
Okay. Ronan?
I'm going to go Aaron Rye.
Okay.
68.
68. Okay. I thought one of these would go Stuart Sink.
No.
He's running back from
He's
the
too
pub
busy
and Stuart
scoring
Sink is out
points.
sculling points.
Absolutely scoring points. Of all the golfers we spotted in the wild this week, Marco Penge, Cam Smith's, Podgetier, whatever his name is, and Stuart Sink's Skull and Pints.
Yeah.
With no one to drink it because everyone hates him for ruining Christmas.
Everyone hates him. Yeah, I'm not going to say the stereotypical thing, but
you only recognise him because the top half of his head is white. And,
he's like a full boiled egg and a half boiled egg. Right, we'll wrap it up there for today. We'll be back with the results tomorrow. We'll post the results. We'll do something on it. But yeah, enjoy the first day at Royal Portrush. We're going to be up there on site from stupid o'clock in the morning, getting up to watch. Yeah, I'm buzzing for this now. I'm buzzing for Harrington, McKibbin. It's very rare we get these first tee, like hairs in the back of your neck, Ryder Cup Opens, do this. To have an Irish man hit off, I don't think I've had an experience like this in the first
It's
tee.
very rare we're in there before 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I know, but like
catch somebody on the back nine
I
is
think we'll have
usually
to be
our
in bed
mantra.
before 2:30 tonight. Now,
Yeah.
to get there for that.
Right, get these last Carlsberg open and we'll get stuck into it. Cheers for tuning in, everybody, and we'll be back again tomorrow. Cheers, bye.